So while I'm playing Watch Dogs on current next-gen hardware for the release and the review, I'm seeing a lot of people asking about permadeath and recruiting and how those systems fit together and why the character, their friends, their skills, their quests can intertwine to create something organic in Watch Dogs Legions, and why it can be absolutely shitty when you lose one. First, taking a look at this character, you can see that they are open to recruitment, which just means taking on a job or two for them, or if they have one thumbs down, which means they distrust DedSec, or two thumbs down, which means they're not recruitable at all. And this is going to matter in a bit. So I was ripping around London and I found the palace and I decided, man, that sounds like fun to get into, but I could not make it inside. I could not make my way in there even with my highly trained spy, let alone my dumpy housewife whose only skill was randomly betting on gambling games online. But I did see that a couple of the guards that were actually watching the palace did not have two thumbs down, so I decided to look into them. And I checked a character in their itinerary and I found out that they checked in with a parole officer as well as balked with their sister in the afternoons. I also noticed they were destroying evidence every night at the palace, which I'm not sure exactly what that was about. I'll try to figure it out later. So I tracked this character down a couple times and never really got the speak emote, the ability to actually talk to him. But the weakness in every man's life is his sister, or stepsister if you're watching porn. So I decide, you know what, let's check her out. And I find out that she is indeed possibly likable towards DedSec. Remember, I have permadeath turned on, that's going to matter. So I find her and she informs me that she's been helping immigrants into London, and some of them that she's helped have just completely disappeared. I can track them down and maybe find them, and she would decide at that point to join DedSec. And I just say, you know what, I'll do that. I really want to get her brother on the team so I can get into the palace and see if I can steal some crown jewels and some shit. So I track down the missing character and I find a gang warehouse where these people are being sold as slaves and to wealthy homeowners. Now, this is something that the character didn't know about. They were just getting them into London. Remembering that I can die on these missions, I take my time, I clear out the area fairly carefully, and I save the woman and I escape. At this time, I decide to go back and talk to the sister. She reluctantly joins DedSec. One thing to remember is that there's still stuff you can track down with the sister. You can do various different things. You can check the itinerary, but I wanted to get her brother on the team as quickly as possible. So I deep scan her and her brother, and I find out that not only is he boxed with the sister, he is, as I said, going and doing various things during the day, but I really want to find him right after his discussion with a parole officer. It's right in midday, and I feel like that's a good time to do it. So I track him down like frickin' Slender Man. Suddenly, he's open to talking now after I've helped his sister. He informs me he knows of DedSec and he may join him if I do something for him. Now, his story involved a friend who needs a passport, a friend who he emphasized a bit because I don't necessarily know if the overlap between his sister's job and her secret and his was on purpose, but that narrative organically flowed over the top of each other, and it felt a little bit like maybe this was one of the people his sister had saved and was possibly a love interest for him. And I say, you know what? I'm going to do this thing. I have to break into a high security warehouse and then steal a truck filled with contraband and drive it to a spot for a gang member who will then make the ID. I look at this and I figure out, you know what? I can do this. It doesn't sound so hard. Now, at the same time, I deep scanned this character and it brought up all different kinds of things. Like he occasionally went into the deep web and searched for how to make fake IDs. I like the organic parts that mend in and overlap here. Here is where the shit starts to go wrong, though. At times, Watch Dogs Legion has no issues extending a mission you're on, and I pretty much flatly forgot that. So I run in, I hack a giant drone, I smash a dude, activate cars, and do everything I can to basically sow anarchy in this spot. It's a long process, but I finally knock out or pacify everyone in the storage area. I leap into the truck, and I drive off. This is the first mistake and celebration of many. Now, on this quick drive, I'm moving around. No one's following me. I end up at the spot I'm supposed to. It's a down and out area. I get out of the car. I celebrate again. Whoops. Drones attack me. Now, these drones have been following me and they realize that there's counterband in the back of the truck. No worries. I take them out pretty quickly and the game says, you know what? If you run away from the truck, we'll set off the equipment inside and we'll stun the drones. This is basically a call-in for my leader. I'm like, that sounds great. So I sprint away from the truck. Boom. I hear my lead yelling through my earpiece that last action has helped the gang members who own the truck spot me and track me down. And basically, I just need to live or get out. So I decide to run and hide. I use my invisibility cloak, but it's not long lasting enough, and they relentlessly chase me down. Something you will notice with the NPCs in this game, they do not give up quite as quickly as I expected them to. I'm overpowered, and I try my best to, take them out. But boom, I am knocked out. Now I am not dead this time, But I decide, crap, man, maybe I got to pick somebody different. But you know what? First, I'm going to go back and I check with the brother. You know what? I want to apologize. I want to say, hey, man, or I want to restart the mission because that's what you, well, would probably expect. I go back and nope, the mission cannot be restarted because the game has continued forward. The character remembers exactly what has happened and says, hey, you failed. No worries. I decide I'm going to get the sister to join this mission and see if maybe having her on the mission helps out. That was my mistake. She is completely ill-fitted to this mission and dies when leaping between two buildings, and I pick the wrong time to basically press that button. This results in the agent being gone from the game and the brother now having 2 thumbs down on his profile, meaning he can no longer be recruited. An hour and a half, maybe 2, wasted. Permadeath in this game can be turned off if it's on, but if you start the game with it off, you can't turn it on when you start. So think of that when you're choosing how you want to begin the game. Why does this matter? It's not only that you lose that character, but you also lose all of her contacts that I had actually thought I was going to start to progress through when her brother's mission was actually done. I'd lost her connections to a friend that she had that I was thinking of hiring because he was a network expert. And her gambling habit, while odd, was actually netting me a bit of cash. Every character in Legion offers a little something unique, and losing one, while not completely world-altering, can hurt more than most games, simply due to the strands that the title has between the NPCs. If you have permadeath on, those strands, well, they're severed forever. Anyway, that's one bit of Watch Dogs Legions. You should see my review coming up soon. Just wanted to give you guys a heads up on some of the stuff that I'm experiencing. Doesn't mean I love it, doesn't mean I hate it. Don't think it does. This is just a system that I enjoyed exploring and I wanted to tell you a little bit more about. Hope you liked the video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. Check out Reddit, Twitter, Facebook, all that, and become a patron if you want to. Peace out and enjoy the rest of your week.